Good afternoon and welcome to Muskegon Rotary. My name is Tim Arter and I have the pleasure of serving as your president this year. Today's program will be homeless youth in Muskegon County. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the reflection from Darlene Collet. We will also have inductions of 3 new members and a Paul Harris Fellow Award, and we will recite the 4-way test at the end of the meeting. We also today have our district governor, Brianna Scott, with us today, so if you get a chance, say hi to her. And at this time, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As I look out upon this room and see all of you beautiful people, and you are, I found a reflection that I think speaks to what makes a beautiful person. The most beautiful people are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, known loss, and found their way out of the depths. These people have an appreciation and a sensitivity and an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep loving concern. Beautiful people do not just happen. And this happens to be written by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. And if you don't know, she was a Swiss psychiatrist who developed the steps of grieving and was really the person that led the revolution for hospice.
Nicely done, Darlene. Thank you very much. At this time, you're welcome to return to your seats and enjoy your lunch. Excuse me. I apologize for ringing the bell so early. We have a lot going on today, so go ahead and continue eating while we proceed. At this time, would Rotarians and with guests please come forward? Any visiting Rotarians, please come forward also to introduce your guests.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Good afternoon, Rotarians. Thank you kindly. This is Mike Bogus, and my guest today is the person who's been doing the AV for the past 5 years. Would you say a word to us, please? Why, thank you, Mike. I'm so pleased. There are a few things that you have never been told in the 5 years that you've been doing this, and I'm going to share them with you now. I have put some spike marks on the floor in tape. When you come up here and you see yourself in the screen, if you and whoever you are with would simply center yourself on this center line, you will look better. When I ask you to hold the microphone close, I mean like this, not like this. I love you.
That was free, no cost to you. So.
What pressure being the first one to have to abide by Mike's rules. I'm Christine Agengast, and I serve as your treasurer. My husband Don is my guest. Well, actually, Tim's or Meredith's guest today. I'm introducing him. So Don's met many of you at different events that we've had because he's been involved with Rotary too. He's been retired for about 5 years and last worked at Chestnut Fields. Thank you. I always want to call it Green Acres out by the mall. Thank you.
Yeah, I got to make sure I stay on the right seat. Here, okay. You heard the directions, ladies. Come on in. There you go. Good afternoon, Randy Lindquist. I have 2 guests today. Rachel Zaragoza, who is the Special Populations Coordinator at Muskegon ISD. She and I will be presenting later. And then Sarah Junka is with us. She was part of putting the presentation together for us, helping us with it. And she also has some lived experiences that you'll hear about more within the presentation. So welcome to them both.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rob Taylor, and my guest today is Mihan Quinn, otherwise known as Q. He's a DJ at 103.7 The Beat, and it's been great getting to know him, and he's interested in joining Rotary.
All right.
Hi, everybody. Pete DeBoer, and I'm here with Jill Ryan and Rory Tebow. Jill and Rory joined us actually from, I had meetings with them the last couple of months, and I said, hey, we're doing something with the Environmental Committee with Rotary. You should come. So they did. So Bidler Creek and Rotary Park is what we were looking at, so they joined us for that and joined us for lunch. Jill is Executive Director of Freshwater Future, which is a water-based organization that concentrates on Great Lakes water issues and has been doing great work there. She is actually back in Muskegon after 40 years. 40 years. She's been back here for a year. She's an Orchard View graduate, and give her a nice Muskegon welcome when you see her. I guess Muskegon re-welcome. And then Rory is with the Land Conservancy of West Michigan. He is the land protection specialist, thank you, and lives here in Muskegon, came back from St. Louis about 4 or 5 years ago and chose Muskegon out of a couple of different areas on the lakeshore, originally Grand Haven, but he chose Muskegon. He's on the right side of the county, so we appreciate that. So welcome to them.
You did a great job.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Andrew Zart. I have with me today my boss, Tammy Tompkins. She's the Executive Vice President at Family Financial Credit Union.
My guest today is Patrick Borum. He works with Merrill Lynch in Grand Rapids. He's interested in becoming a Rotarian, and he's graduated from Grand Valley College.
All right, question for you guys. Who all here is a Big Red? All right, point of order. We're all Big Reds. So I expect big cheers because we've got Big Reds in the house. To introduce two of the finest is Chandra Sain. She is the counselor at the high school.
Good afternoon. I am pleased to be one of the newly designated Innovative Academies of Muskegon for Muskegon Public Schools. We had our celebration last night, and we have two of our finest who will be in our 150th graduating class of the district that we will have on May 21st. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Addie Whitmer. Everyone in this room has probably shaken hands with one of my parents at least once. I am the president of our Rotary Interact Club. I'm in theater and orchestra. Yeah. Oh, and next year I plan to attend a 4-year university for theater.
Hello, my name's Cora McGinn. My mom's right there. Her name's Claire Ritter. If you ever need a realtor, she's your guy. Sorry. But so I'm the vice president of Rotary, but I'm also the president of NHS. She's my vice president for NHS. I'm in early college, so I've been in college since around 14. And so I graduate with my associates next year in my science and arts degree. And then the year after that, I have one more year, and then I get my actual associates. I already said that. I'm so sorry. Okay. And then I plan on doing 2 years at state. So.
Go white.
Well, at this time, I'll call Lisa Tyler to come forward to introduce today's program.
Thank you, President Tim. It is my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce today's program. I think many of you know that I am a proud board member of the Muskegon Area Intermediate School District, currently serving as treasurer. So I am excited to introduce some of the finest educators in our area. Randy Lindquist serves as the superintendent of the Muskegon Area Intermediate School District, or MAISD, where he has dedicated the past 18 years to advancing educational opportunities and supporting local schools across Muskegon County. With a career in education spanning more than 30 years, including roles as an elementary teacher, principal, interesting fact, he was my cousin's principal in Greenville, we discovered, and district leader, Randy is passionate about building strong partnerships that support students, educators, and the broader community. He's committed to innovation, collaboration, and ensuring every student has the tools they need to succeed. He didn't put this in here, but I don't know many more avid golfers than Randy Lindquist. I'm sure he's already been golfing several times this year. And then Rachel Zaragoza is the Special Populations Coordinator for MAISD and the McKinney-Vento Regional Coordinator for Muskegon County. She's been with the MAISD for 10 years and has her master's in public administration from Western Michigan University, home of the National Hockey Champions. Woo. My husband also a graduate there. Rachel's focus is on supporting all of our local schools with students experiencing homelessness, as well as our immigrant and multilingual students. As a lifelong Muskegon County resident, her commitment to meeting the diverse needs of all learners ensures that vulnerable student groups receive the resources and advocacy they need to thrive. As Randy said to me when I said I was really looking forward to this, it may not be the cheeriest of topics to talk about homeless youth, but it's vital that we all understand that it is an issue in our community and that we've got some really fabulous people working on it. Randy and Rachel.
Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. Lisa is an esteemed board member for us. And this fall, we presented some information to the board about homeless youth in our county, and our board was pretty surprised by that. And Lisa said, you know what? I think the rest of the community needs to hear about this. How about presenting to Rotary? And that's how we got to be here. So that surprise, I think, will be part of the presentation today as well for all of you, is what I'm hoping. Go ahead, Mike, you can put the slide up. So we are talking about homeless youth in the county, and homeless youth is less than 18 years of age. So I don't want you leaving here thinking that we have an issue around not doing much around homelessness. We have a lot happening in Muskegon County. I know that. There are groups like United Way and others that are working on homelessness, but we are specifically here to talk about and share information about youth homelessness, which is a little different because it's for those that are under 18 years of age. And I do hope that we have a little bit of shock and awe across all of you in the audience when we're done today to maybe spark some more work in this area. So most of you think about, and maybe as you grew up, thought about school as focus on the basics, right? Oddly enough, this used to be called the 3 R's, which isn't really educationally sound, but reading, writing, and arithmetic were like the basic things schools did. That's what schools do. And over the decades, that's changed a lot. I know you've heard me say that before, but it's changed dramatically over the decades in terms of what schools are responsible for and have to focus on. This slide represents a small portion of that. And in 2015, we had a speaker come to the county named Jamie Vollmer. I don't know if any of you heard him speak, but he has a book called Schools Can't Do It Alone. And he talks about this fact about how schools have taken on more and more responsibilities over the decades and that they can't do it alone. He has a great representation of that in this poster that shows the list of things that have been added to schools' plates over the decades. It's pretty impressive in terms of that list. And this is probably outdated today, right, in terms of what responsibilities the schools have. This paints a picture in terms of everything on a school district's plate, what they have to focus on. We're going to focus on one very important piece of that today, but I wanted you to realize that this is one of those things added to schools that we have to think about more and more each year as this issue rises. And we know through years of research, Maslow's hierarchy would say that we have to meet basic needs of kids and families in order for kids to thrive in our schools. They have to have those physical needs taken care of, feel safe in school, be fed, feel secure in where they're sleeping that night, etc., before things on that higher level of the hierarchy can be actually addressed and students can actually learn and thrive in school. We can have the greatest teachers, the greatest facilities, the greatest technology, whatever it might be. We can address everything on this list, but if we don't talk about those basic needs, students will not thrive. And one of those key basic needs that we are ever increasingly looking at is housing insecurity, and that's our topic today. I'm going to allow Rachel to describe what housing insecurity is, talk about what we're doing at Muskegon ISD about that, and share some more information about the issue we have in Muskegon County. Rachel.
Thank you. Is this okay? Should I lower this? Okay. All right. So when we think about homelessness in Muskegon County, kids under the age of 18 isn't usually the first thing that might come to mind. And that's often because homelessness with kids under 18 looks a lot different than it might in other populations of people experiencing homelessness. Kids under 18 are often very hidden. It might look like a family with kids, with younger kids that are all sleeping in a car together in a parking lot. They might have blankets over their windows to try and conceal the fact that they're all living in their car. It might look like a high school student that's staying after school way past time that that school's ended, just hanging out in the hallways just because there isn't any other place for them to go after they leave school. It might look like kids staying with people that they aren't even very familiar with because families needed to be split apart because they all couldn't stay at the same shelter together, or they are literally homeless on the street and there isn't any place for kids to go. So they might have to stay with friends or family that they may not even know that well. By law, every school district has to have a homeless liaison appointed within the district. It's that person's responsibility to identify kids that are homeless and help reduce barriers to education for kids that are homeless. And at the ISD, I work with all of the homeless liaisons across the county, and we come together to try to figure out solutions for how we can make access to education easier for kids that are unhoused and help create the same kinds of opportunities for them that their peers that are housed have. So at the ISD, there's a few different things that we've been working on over the past couple years. One being a community of practice that we've started with all of the McKinney Vento liaisons. So we get together regularly and we discuss different solutions, what are the barriers that we're seeing with kids, and what might be some of the community partnerships that we can form to help bring solutions to those issues that we're seeing. So we get together as a group, and some of the outcomes of this group are we started a partnership with Family Promise of the Lakeshore. This is our only family shelter that we have in Muskegon County. It has 4 rooms, and that is, in comparison to other counties, much fewer rooms available than what's needed. So having 4 rooms, families don't have any place to go if they want to be able to stay together after those rooms are filled. So with American Rescue Plan dollars, during that time when that money was available, we were able to pay for temporary hotel stays for families once the shelter was full. So we were able to house quite a few families on a temporary basis with those funds. We also provided washers and dryers to several different school districts because we know if kids don't have clean clothes, then they're not going to show up to school. We do a lot of analysis with data. We collect data from all of the different school districts because we have access to the number of kids that are being identified as homeless and their demographics and what are their needs and what are their barriers to attending school. We work with Madison Butler with the Muskegon Homeless Continuum of Care and partner together to talk about these issues and how we can move forward in a collaborative way to address homelessness in the county. We also provide trainings and professional learning with the law, with McKinney-Vento, the rights of homeless kids, and their needs. We started a partnership with Goodwill, where Goodwill provides $25 vouchers, and we pass those vouchers out to students and families so that they can take those vouchers and go to any Goodwill in the county, and then they have choice over the things that they want to wear and the things that they want to see themselves in by using that at Goodwill themselves instead of us buying the things for them. We have a transportation work group that we've started with all of the transportation directors in the county. We, if a student is experiencing homelessness, they have the right to be able to participate in their school of origin or their school of residence. So if they move to a county that's outside of their school district or move to a city outside of their school district, they still have the right to continue going to school where they were before. And that does pose a lot of challenges with transportation, because if a student moves to Grand Rapids or Hesperia, we still need to be able to transport them to school here in Muskegon. So we meet collectively as a group to address some of those challenges that come up. We also have a partnership with TH Brands, where we created virtual storefronts. Each public school district has an allocation as part of a school storefront where homeless liaisons can go in and buy, with the money from the ISD, purchase items specific for each child experiencing homelessness in their size, and it's school branded apparel, and we know school branded apparel is usually really expensive. So this is a way for them to be able to have those things and have a greater sense of being part of the community and being part of the school district that they are in. One other thing we do too is we provide like on-demand specific needs, or like address specific needs of students. So we purchase like emergency food, emergency clothing, sleeping bags, air mattresses, like anything that comes up as an immediate basic need for kids, we will purchase those items for them or give money to school districts so that they can purchase items for kids. So one example I just wanted to highlight from the ISD was my colleague Sarah had a student that she was working with, and this student received employment, but she needed slip-resistant shoes, and there's no way that she was going to be able to get them. So Sarah purchased the slip-resistant shoes for her and found out at that time that she's been wearing shoes that were a size and a half too small for her this entire time, but she had no way of getting any other shoes. So now she has shoes for work, and now she has shoes that actually fit her. We're doing all of these things, and that's great. But it's not enough, because we identified over 1,000 kids that were experiencing homelessness last year. And these are kids that we identified in our schools. So these are kids that are admitting that they meet like the qualifiers of experiencing homelessness. So they are living in a camper, they're living in a home that doesn't have running water or electricity, they're living in a tent, they're living in a motel, they're staying on somebody's couch. So they are sharing that with schools, and schools are sharing that information with me. So we know that this is actually a big undercount, because these are just the kids that we know about. So in trying to figure out what we can do to better address the need, like the variety of needs that come up with kids experiencing homelessness, we decided to start interviewing some families experiencing homelessness and some kids experiencing homelessness. Sorry. So this next slide is like an AI-generated image of one of the women that I spoke to. So there's two different stories that I'm going to share, And I'm just going to read like right off of the paper because I don't want to paraphrase and miss something. So I'm going to go right into Victoria's story and just read from here. So Victoria spent years cycling in and out of homelessness with her 5 children, often forced to live in her vehicle. She developed survival strategies like hanging blankets over her windows, bundling her kids in layers, even her baby that was in his car seat, and running the car periodically to stay warm. With no family support, she turned to shelters when space was available, but they wouldn't accept all 5 of her kids. Heartbreakingly, she had to make the impossible decision of deciding which kids she could stay with and which could not, needing her to ask others to temporarily care for them. Shelter life brought its own challenges with young kids, being that she couldn't bring in any toys, extra clothes, or food or snacks for her toddler. Her baby was prone to seizures and required medication that needed to be turned in and monitored by the shelter. This was incredibly scary for her because if her baby experienced a seizure, she needed to seek out someone to retrieve that medication for her rather than be able to administer it for her own child in that moment. Through it all, Head Start staff at Muskegon ISD stood by her. One even took her newborn baby home for her from the hospital when she didn't have anybody else to turn to. And against all odds, Victoria was able to get approved for Section 8 housing, which is a miracle. For the first time ever, all of her babies were with her under one roof, and now she's painting and fixing up her new home while her kids are joyfully swapping bedrooms each night just because they can. They're thriving in school, and for the first time in a long time, they're all very happy. Sorry, I get like emotional about it, even though I do this all day. And this next one is Callie. Callie grew up living in hotels her entire life. She's only known hotel life. And now, as a young mom of 2, she's continuing that cycle and is still living in a hotel in Muskegon. She's moved from hotel to hotel across the state in search of safety. She's fled abuse, she's left entire counties behind, and watched her kids grow up in cramped spaces where there's no room for real meals, play, or holiday traditions. Growing up in this environment, she's often witnessed heartbreaking scenes. Children crying outside locked motel rooms, their belongings stuffed in trash bags when families are unable to pay. And having to watch her own babies fall behind on major physical milestones, unable to crawl, walk properly, or meet any of those major indicators just due to lack of space being available in the hotel room. As if these challenges weren't enough, Callie's youngest also has kidney disease. This requires weekly visits to Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. So on top of paying $50 to $75 a day to live in the hotel, she now also has to come up with the means for weekly trips to Grand Rapids. Callie's daughter attends the Muskegon County Virtual Academy that is run by Muskegon Area ISD, where dedicated staff provide more than just education. They've offered emergency food, hygiene supplies, and consistent support and check-ins on her daughter's academics and well-being. After her interview, Callie was able to gain full-time employment, something that is extremely difficult for somebody experiencing homelessness. Lacking a permanent address, gas money, childcare, and documentation to receive employment are often insurmountable barriers for someone who is unhoused. Yet, despite these intense challenges, she was able to overcome all of the odds and take steps towards building a better life for her and her family. I want to next go into, so we took some of these interviews and made a video to highlight youth homelessness in Muskegon County. So you'll actually get to hear Victoria and Callie in the video. So I will play that now. Right now in Muskegon County, hundreds of young people are experiencing homelessness. Some are couch surfing, staying in shelters, motels, or even sleeping in cars or abandoned buildings.
And it's so hard to get any help anywhere. And it's like I run into a dead end every time I call these resources.
I don't think anybody, no matter their age, should have to worry about where they have to go at night.
People are like, call this place, call this place. I call and they're like, well, we don't have nothing. There's no funding. There's nothing we can do.
I just have to put blankets up, and he would sleep in his car seat and have the heater on in the car,
Last year alone, over 1,000 kids, preschool through 12th grade in our community were identified as homeless. Of those, over 150 were unaccompanied minors. These are teens trying to navigate life completely on their own.
I remember really struggling in middle school because a lot of times I would come to school and I would have like cat urine on me. And I just remember my teacher pulling me aside and just saying, like, you know, you're tired again today. Is everything okay?
You can't knock somebody from the lifestyle they came from because that's, you know, that's who they came from. That's not who they are, though. That's not who they are. You know, that was their choices, not my choices.
Homelessness can be one paycheck away for a lot of our families.
In 2026, Muskegon County will be the only county in the entire state without homeless youth programming or housing.
Because I feel like it's just so many people who need help and they aren't getting the resources that they need.
When I was 12, I was homeless, and back then Muskegon County had a resource called the Webster House. Because I could go to the Webster House, I really do feel like that changed the course of my life. Now I have 2 beautiful children, and I have a stable home, and I have a full-time job, and I also go to school full-time, so there is definitely a light at the end of the tunnel.
The basic life is okay. Just as long as we don't have to worry about going hungry. We don't have to worry about sleeping in the streets. You know, we've completed class in school and graduated, and we just have a stable job, a stable home, a vehicle to get back and forth.
Please prioritize innocent youth and families in our county.
We have to invest in our students. Investing in them is investing in the future.
We need real partnerships with agencies to expand into Muskegon County, and we need a system that protects our most vulnerable youth and gives them a fighting chance at survival and success. And that starts with all of us, schools, businesses, community leaders, and every single person who believes that no young person should be left alone without hope and without stability.
In order to be a productive member of society, they need a place to live at night. They need a place where they can feel safe. They need food, and they need that stability. And that's the only way that our students can succeed.
These kids have nowhere to turn in their community for support, and they deserve better from the adults in this community. We need to remember that we are the change that we seek, and the time to make real change is now.
So I'm hopeful that you heard in the video a very alarming statistic. And Mike, I need that back up if I can, please. That is something we are going to ask your help with, and that is this, that Muskegon County in 2026 will be the only county in the entire state without youth homeless programming or housing to help with this issue. With 1,000 students plus and that number growing, we have to find a way in Muskegon County to do better. That cannot be our reality. You heard the voice of Sarah. I introduced her earlier in that video. Sarah works at the ISD. She's an awesome employee. She has a beautiful family and a home, thanks to resources she was able to tap into when she was experiencing homelessness herself. And we have to find a way in Muskegon County to help with that issue for many more students in Muskegon County. So my ask for you today is to help advocate. If you're a business owner, organization that can help advocate for this, to push at the county level. We'll be talking to county commissioners hopefully in the future about helping with this. We can find a way. We know Muskegon County is strong. We can fix this and do better, and that's our hope from today's presentation. Thank you.
We have time for one question. Again, a question. Randy?
Question that Rachel will answer.
Hi, Aaron Bozart here. There was a time in Muskegon County when we had the semblance of a network that could address some of this. Webster House was mentioned. I think many of us have lost track of what's happened to those resources. Can you speak to that?
Sorry. It's my understanding that that's the collective
mindset of everyone that we did have resources like this a number of years ago, and once that funding stopped, like there wasn't a replacement for that afterwards. So Webster House was a thing for a number of years, and then once Webster House ended, there wasn't a replacement for it, and it's been years since then, and there still is no replacement for it.
Rachel, what would perfect look like for 2026?
Sorry. So he had asked what perfect would look like in 2026. And what I would love to see happen is there is an organization called Arbor Circle. They are in Grand Rapids, and they offer many different services, but one of the services they do is shelter for kids that are under 18. They have a thing called The Bridge, and it's beautiful and it's wonderful, and they have like tons of different spaces and tons of different resources and things for kids. And I would love to see them expand and have a second location in Muskegon. And I've started talks with them, so I imagine it would take like fundraising and working with this organization and seeing what we would need to do to create a second location in Muskegon. But I would love to see that, and I would love to see more space for families experiencing homelessness, because as it is right now, with only having 4 rooms and we don't have hotel funds anymore, families choose to sleep in their cars because otherwise they'll be split apart, because families can't stay together at the men's shelter or at every woman's place. So families have no other choice but to be literally homeless, either on the street, in a hotel, or in a car, because we can't keep families together without family shelters.
Well, that was a great and sobering message you had today. I wanted to let you know that our club contributes to Shelter Box, which is an international organization that works in harmony with Rotary International in disaster relief, and they certainly are close to this issue that you're talking about throughout the world. So we made a contribution and to serve as an honorarium for your presentation today. Thank you. Thank you. At this time, Mike, would you move to the birthday slide? A short list. Make a special note of the individual on the bottom of the birthday card. Camille Jordan Mark, Michael Poland, and the one and only Paul Harris. So at this time, I always make a plug for people to contribute to the Caring Connection as a part of our birthday. But before we do that, let's sing Happy Birthday to those present. Thank you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. So kindly consider a $10 contribution to the Caring Connection, and we will appreciate that. At this time, we'll be spotlighting Ginny Sprague, who will provide you with some insights on our Paul Harris Committee.
My name is Jenny Sprague, and I am here to talk about the Paul Harris Fellow Committee. The Paul Harris Committee is a committee comprised primarily of past presidents of Rotary, and our task is to award the Club Paul Harris Fellow recognitions to both community and club members who have demonstrated outstanding contributions to our community, the state, the world. The Rotary Foundation named an award, the Paul Harris Fellow Award, in Paul Harris's memory, and to honor people for significant contributions in support of projects of the Rotary Foundation. It was also to encourage contributions to the Rotary Foundation. So that was the impetus for the award, and this is one of the most prestigious awards that Rotary gives to an individual, and it just keeps growing. I think like most things, you have to learn how to give. You know, everything isn't just magically there when you're born. And I think Rotary gives us a way through contributions and support of the Rotary Foundation to truly make an impact in the world. And I am so pleased to be able to encourage that through Paul Harris Fellow recognitions. Not everybody needs that to give, which is good too, but you know, it's nice to recognize people who have and have them be examples to others to learn to keep giving and support. It's very important in our world that we do this in our community and in ourselves.
Thank you, Jenny. At this time, I'll call forward, we're going to have inductions. I call forward Jessica Hoffman with her sponsor, Rob Mathis, Josh Carafa, and Greg Borgman with their sponsor, Roger Morgenstern. Hold on a second, Roger. Okay, fellow Rotarians and guests, on behalf of Muskegon Rotary Club, it is my privilege to induct the members today. At this time, I'll ask Roger and Rob to introduce Jessica, Josh, and Greg.
Great. Thank you, President Tim. All right, we'll do Josh first because he's to my immediate right. Josh Carafa, he is the founder of Silver Lining Structures. Josh's journey into the world of construction began early, at just 14 years old. He was hands-on, helping his family flip houses. That experience sparked a lasting interest in building, leading him to work for a local home builder as he gained further real-world experience. Despite his passion for construction, Josh initially pursued a different path. He earned a degree in criminal justice from Muskegon Community College and went on to spend nearly a decade serving his community in local law enforcement. Those years instilled in him a strong sense of discipline, and integrity, and leadership, traits that would later define his career in construction. In 2017, Josh became a licensed builder and turned his lifelong passion into a profession. 2 years ago, he launched Silver Lining Structures, a company built on craftsmanship, transparency, and genuine care for both clients and employees. Under Josh's leadership, the business has grown steadily, adding talented team members, introducing employee benefits, and creating a positive, people-first work environment. His commitment to quality and community hasn't gone unnoticed. In 2025, Silver Lining Structures was honored with Grand Haven's People's Choice Award for Best Contractor, a testament to Josh's hard work and the trust he's built with clients across the region. Josh continues to lead Silver Lining Structures with the same hands-on approach and dedication that started it all, believing that with the right team, every project has a silver lining. Josh Carafa. Last but not least, a friend of all of ours, Greg Borgman. Greg is a recent retiree from Goodwill Industries of West Michigan, where he worked as a justice-involved case manager. He currently serves as an ambassador for Pioneer Resources and is a salesperson for the aforementioned Silver Lining Structures. Greg also serves on the Silent Observer Committee and is an active member of the Nelson Neighborhood Improvement Association. He is also the event planner for the Michigan Recycling Coalition statewide conference, which will be held here in mid-May. In addition, he volunteers with the West Michigan Symphony's Gala and Audience Committees, supporting the WMSO not only as an avid attendee, but also helping bring in new season ticket subscribers. He's an active member of St. John's Episcopal Church in Grand Haven, serving on the parish vestry, and is a trustee on the Bishop Whittemore Foundation. Greg enjoys networking for a wide variety of friends in the community, started a local networking group 10 years ago and still serves in that capacity. Greg is a past trustee of the Hackley Public Library, where he proudly touts his participation in hiring their current executive director, Joe Zapakoska, to that organization. He is a current board member of the Muskegon Historic District Commission and served on the Muskegon Housing Board of Appeals for 41 years. Yeah, they hired him when he was like 5. Yeah, you're welcome. You owe me for that. Greg enthusiastically serves in any capacity to help anything Muskegon. The owner of a historic home in downtown Muskegon, he enjoys engaging with his many neighbors. I like to call Greg really the great convener. He's very good at that. He's a proud Big Red. He served 4 years in the United States Air Force after high school and attended Muskegon Community College. In his spare time, he enjoys traveling and showing his 1969 Chevy Caprice, which is much nicer than my 76 Cadillac Eldorado, and is excited to be part of Rotary. Greg Borgman.
Hello, everyone. I would like to introduce you to Jessica Kaufman. She's the branch manager at Forefront Credit Union in Muskegon with 13 years of dedicated experience in the credit union industry. Her journey encompasses various roles in the frontline positions, lending, marketing, and management. Born and raised in Fruitport, Michigan, Jessica currently resides in Ravenna with her husband, Brant, and their 3 children, Aylin, Lawson, and Haven. They recently added a new puppy named Creed to their family. In her free time, Jessica enjoys camping, hunting, shopping, and spending quality time with her family. She is very passionate about the credit union sector and committed to helping the community. Her team contributed to over 120 hours of volunteer time in 2024 and is always seeking new opportunities to make a positive impact on our community.
Thank you. If I could have Jessica, Josh, and Greg move to the podium, I appreciate it. Jessica, Josh, and Greg, you have been chosen for membership in Muskegon Rotary Club as a person of good character, high ethical standards, heart for service, and ideal of Rotary. Fellowship and friendship are the first aims and rewards of Muskegon Rotary membership. You will enjoy a network of leaders and professionals who are committed to welcoming and mentoring you. We are admitting you to Muskegon Rotary Club and to the Fellowship of Rotary throughout the world. Membership is an honor and a privilege with its corresponding obligations. Your regular attendance will nurture your understanding and commitment to our principal motto, service above self. Every member is expected to perform his or her share of club service, community service, participation in fundraisers to support our charitable beneficiaries, and the ideal of friendship and networking. As you expect to receive, so must you also give. If you accept these obligations, please say, I do. I do. Thank you. Lastly, I have a challenge for you to share the gift of membership in Rotary. Invite another person with your same qualities of character to join Muskegon Rotary in the next 6 months. Do you accept this challenge by saying, I do? I do. Thank you. Jessica, Josh, and Greg, in the name of the Rotary Club of Muskegon, I hereby formally admit you to membership in this club. I now provide you with your PIN and the 4-way test. You want to pass those along? Lots of gear here. Rotary members and guests, please rise and welcome the newest Rotarians in the world, Jessica, Josh, and Greg. Thank you. At this time, I ask Meredith Smiley to please come forward for our Paul Harris Fellow Award.
Well, I think it's very, very fitting that Ginny shared a little information on what it means to become a Paul Harris Fellow. And I would also draw your attention to the rim. We have the district match, again, from our Traverse City location. So for $500, you'll get a district match of the additional $500 if you want to purchase a Paul Harris Fellow for yourself or for a fellow Rotarian. So just want to draw your attention to that. In 1957, Rotary International established the Paul Harris Fellow Award to honor Paul Harris, one of the three founders of Rotary. Rotary created this eponymous award to express appreciation for the financial support of the humanitarian and educational programs of the Rotary Foundation. This award, again, is one of Rotary's most prestigious honors. Today, we will honor a deserving individual who also dreams good dreams and makes them come true. I'm going to call on Tim Arter to help me with the presentation of today's honoree.
Thank you, Meredith. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Muskegon and its Paul Harris Fellow Committee, I've been given the distinct pleasure and honor to introduce our newest Paul Harris Fellow. I first met this individual a number of years ago while working on a local philanthropic campaign. I was always taken by the sincere, engaging smile, desire to serve others, and rich personal values. These times together were periodic and often by chance. That is, until we found ourselves actively serving together with another nonprofit organization. Through this new experience, I came to appreciate remarkable personal quality and traits. A visionary, innovator, change agent, problem solver, clarity of thought, kindness, and empathy. Making visions reality, devotion to service, and an ultimate can-do person mentality. Oh, but I failed to mention the name of the nonprofit organization. Well, it's our own Muskegon Rotary Club. And our honoree is Christy Nagengast. Soon to complete 3 years as our treasurer. Before I ask Christy to come forward, I wish to share just some of her many accomplishments and outstanding service to Muskegon Rotary. And before I do that, I remind you that we are the largest club in our district of 52 clubs, and probably the largest club in the state of Michigan, and among the largest clubs in America. Lots and lots and lots of moving parts. Christy has provided our presidents, boards, and members with confidence that our financial accounting, cash receipts, and cash disbursement systems are working well. She improved the analysis and reporting of the club's and foundation's financial condition and results of operations to its board of directors. In advance of each month's Board of Directors meeting, Christy provides a 2-page treasurer's report concisely analyzing for both the club and the foundation the most recent months and year-to-date's most significant budget versus actual line item variances along with the underlying causes, financial trend analysis, and recommendations for current and future actions. Weekly, if not daily, Christy responds to the president's, officers, and committee chairs' requests for the analysis of some sort or another by making deep dive analyses of operational and segments and our activities. Christy brought sophistication to and streamlining our annual budget process, including the use of multi-year spreadsheets of individual club and foundation budget line items supported by accompanying data assumptions. She provides almost instantaneously gracious responses to members' questions, inquiries, and needs of assistance. Just a few examples of the many initiatives which Christy has increased the sophistication of our very large club's financial and accounting treasury functions. For Harvest Fest, as an example, for Harvest Fest events nights, Christy and her team devised processes to electronically connect in real time to our foundation's bank account to receive and categorize credit card receipts for event night ticket sales, beverage sales, raffle ticket sales, and silent auction sales. And then that night, immediately after the Harvest Fest event, Christy and her team, including incoming treasurer Kim Taylor, reconciled all those receipts by category to the account bank activity. And hard to believe, on the following day, Christy was able to provide the president and Harvest Fest chairs an accurate report of all Harvest Fest revenues by category. Interest income. When Christy identified both the club and foundation checking accounts were generating minute percentages of interest income relative to CD rates, she recommended to the board to invest available cash in short-term CDs, and the result of that is she increased our interest income by $3,000 a year. She also implemented the use of QR codes for a variety of our club and foundation purposes, analyzed our skyrocketing credit card service fees and cut those in half by relentlessly pursuing credit card service representatives and creating innovative processes. She also introduced the use of ACH receipts and disbursements, and she worked to convert our archaic accounting system to QuickBooks Online, enabling us to have real-time access to our accounting records. All of these things Christy has done with vision, innovation, problem-solving, clarity of thought, kindness, devotion to service, making visions a reality, and a can-do mentality. Without question, Christy is the epitome of service above self. At this time, I call forward Christy, my fellow officer, your treasurer, and my very dear friend, Christy Nagengast. Along with her husband, Don, who's here on a surprise.
What can I say, but, oh.
I'm going to give you your awards. Here you go. Today, my fellow Rotarians, we move closer to a more peaceful world as Christy Nagengast becomes a Paul Harris Fellow. Christy, you were recognized today as a Paul Harris Fellow in appreciation for how your life exemplifies the humanitarian and educational objectives of the Rotary Foundation. You were designated to receive this recognition by the Muskegon Club and the Paul Harris Fellow Committee members. So on behalf of the Rotary Foundation Board of Trustees, you receive your 3 emblems of a Paul Harris Fellow, a lapel pin, a medallion, and a certificate that states you have been named a Paul Harris Fellow in appreciation for tangible and significant assistance given for the furtherance of better understanding and friendly relations between peoples of the world. So please accept our congratulations and sincere appreciation for your commitment to shared world goals and understanding of peace. Rotarians and friends, one more time, let's honor our newest Paul Harris Fellow in the world, Christy Nagengast.
I will just say thank you. I am very honored, and it's been a pleasure, truly. I do have to say to Tim, there might only be a few of us in the room that appreciated all those financial details, so you, me, and Kim, anyway. But thank you for listening, and thank you for the recognition.
Well deserved, my friend.
At this time, I call Brianna Scott forward. She's got a couple of comments. I guess we're going to do it now. So come ahead.
I thought I was going to introduce her.
Oh, I thought you were going to do any announcements.
Oh, she's going to speak about the conference.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm going to introduce her
Okay.
before she comes in. Yes. Well, I suppose you're wondering why I'm up here again. Kevin? I'm going to come next week and do that. All right, yeah.
What about Fisherman's Landing?
No, I'm not here to talk about Fisherman's Landing. Jeff? No, I'm not here to talk about the road diet. What's with all these questions? What I am here to do is to introduce your district governor. Let's give a round of applause for Brianna Scott.
Thank you. That was pretty funny. I don't think you were planning for that, and surprise. So good afternoon. Thank you for giving me. I've got 2 minutes, and I just had to crack a joke that you are so right that no one other than maybe 3 people in this room could appreciate all of the technical acumen and professionalism in the accounting that Christy has provided. I'm sitting back there thinking, what is he talking about? I barely balance a checkbook. So, but Christy, you're great, and you are so worthy of that accomplishment. And I just had an inside joke that I couldn't have done what I did with the Seaway Run and how we severed our ways with the YMCA without Christy's assistance and Jenny. So thank you for that as well. Okay, so I'm here. I don't have a rabbit. I heard Tim brought a rabbit. I don't have one, but I am here to just thank you all so very much for being, so supportive of this upcoming Empowerment and Leadership Summit. Kathy can probably tell me if we're at 30, but I know as of 2 days ago, we were really close. I think we were like 5 Rotarians away from meeting my ask to this club of having 30 of you registered. So I just wanted to come up and thank you all so very much. If you are one of the 5 who has not registered or more, please see Kathy. She'd be happy to give you the information so that you can get registered. We are going to have an awesome time on May 3rd and 4th here at Muskegon. I am super excited to be hosting along with my club. My mom is waving a flyer that she made sure to place at all of the tables, so you certainly can use the QR code to register. We are also looking for volunteers. If you are registered or not, we need volunteers to help with those that are coming in from all over the district. We're hoping to have quite a few people. We've already got a lot that are registered, and we're going to need help. So if anyone is willing to help out the registration table or any of the other things that Kathy has indicated to me that we need, please see Kathy or myself after today's meeting. In addition to that, is your name Wyatt? Wyatt, I got to see you afterwards. My mom told me maybe you'll take photos of us while we're there. So anyway, I just wanted to thank you all again and just ask, please, if you have not registered, please do so. Again, thank you for your support, Muskegon Rotary. I would not be in this position, obviously, without you all, and I really appreciate you all so much. Thank you.
As you can see, sometimes we do things on the run. At this time, we'll be doing announcements. So those, for those who were planning on making announcements, please come forward. While they're coming forward, there will be no Rewind meeting tonight. Rewind members are encouraged to attend the Pours event tonight at 794 Kitchen from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Another important announcement is that, and get this on your calendars, beginning May 1st, we will begin meeting at the Lake House. So beginning May 1st. This time, Andrea.
Hi, everyone. This next week, we have Earth Day coming up. I'm here on behalf of the Environmental Stewardship Committee and also making an announcement from Doug Wood and from John Knowling that there will be a couple of Adopt a Beach cleanups. One is this Saturday from 9 until noon at Cruzy Park and Dune Harbor Park. Go ahead and email John if you are going to make it to that. And then there is another one on the 26th that's at Pioneer Park. And lunch is included, and the involvement is with partnering with Muskegon County Parks and Alliance for the Great Lakes to honor Earth Day. So please join us.
Mike, can you put up the Pours poster?
Hello, friends. Irma from Revolution Mortgage with my really good friend Dimitri from
Rayburn Wealth Management.
I wanted to do a skit. He poo-poo plattered it, so.
Not an actor.
Tonight is the night. 794 Kitchen and Bar, our 2025 kickoff to the Pours for Community event. 5:30 to 7:30, and as I always say, you know, all the cool people are going to be there. We will get $1 off a select menu.
Yeah, and then 10% on the proceeds of any, I think there's multiple food items, but you should check with your host before when you enter just for more information regarding that. And if you are a new member, I strongly encourage you to go to at least one of these events because being a new member at one point, I know that it's difficult sometimes to go to these luncheons. It can be scary. Going to a Pours event is a way to meet other Rotarians in a more casual setting, strike up a conversation, and then you recognize more faces when you come to an event like this.
And if you're concerned about parking, Rayburn Wealth Management and Muskegon Glass has graciously offered their parking lot for us to park at, because you know the parking can be dicey down there. Also, because we won't be here till the next event, Monday, the day after Easter, is our second Pours event. It's at Unruly from 5:30 to 7:30.
I'm sorry, the thing says 5 to 7.
Yeah, it's 5 to 7.
Oh, 5 to 7, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yep.
appreciate that.
Mhm.
Does that mean we got to be there earlier than that then?
Yeah, so if you're a host, which the hosts know who they are.
Thanks, I know my schedule now.
Yeah, be there 20 to 30 minutes early just to discuss how the night's going to look, and if there's any questions that you might want to get answered, just be there early, and we'll get you ready.
So I want to see everybody there. Yay!
A few reminders that we appreciate you signing up so that we can get some idea as to the number of people that will be showing up. But you don't have to sign up to come. We have about 25 or more people that are going to be there tonight, but you're all welcome to come and enjoy our time together. And I got a couple of comments wondering about if people would somehow have to make a payment if they failed to sign up and came, or if they needed to do that. That's not the case. Just come. Bring prospective members, your friends, family, whoever, and let's see. And just a reminder, there is a parking lot kitty corner to the 794 in the Muskegon Glass area. You'll see poster boards up that will indicate that it's a Rotary event. So that's what. Those are all the announcements we have for today. Next week, we will host the Lincoln Park Early Act club, approximately 20 youth, along with a few adults. They'll be visiting us, and so encourage them as you see them, and thank them for the great work that they're doing in our community. Our program next week will be outbound exchange students giving their final talks to Muskegon Rotary on their experiences this school year. At this time, let's please rise. Oh, I did. I missed it, the raffle. Second time this year. Make it the last, huh? Okay. 128. Oh, the mayor. $10. 172. Over here on that side of the room. Rapid fire here. 165. 165. Okay, we'll wait for the money to get passed out here. So at this time, let's rise and say the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you. We are adjourned.